All right, folks, it's Ryan with Thistle Hill Farms. We're going to do an end of July farm tour. We'll start out in the field. We'll get into the heated greenhouse, the high tunnel, and we'll show you the new area that we got offered by the farmer. It's looking good. All right, folks, we're going to start down here in the cabbage row. And before I turn this around and show you the beauty, now would be a great time to hit that subscribe button. Thanks, you rock. All right, so as you can see, I have sniped a couple of cabbages. I made my first 50 pounds of kraut, which should be absolutely delicious. I've had a few people requesting it. So in here is sort of a mix. These large leaved ones here are the Typhoon variety, and I'm not quite sure how they got all over the place. And then we have Gregorian, which is an earlier cabbage, which I've taken quite a few of those. And I have absolutely boatloads of them down here. This is Red O'Meara, and a lot of these are ready to come out. This is about the size of them, so it will definitely be kraut making from here on out for the rest of the fall for this guy. They're doing really well. There's not a ton of damage. Like here's one here that has got some holes from the little green worms. I do take the time to spray these with BTK. That's a soil bacteria that disrupts the tummies of the little worms. So like when you look, there's a little bit of damage, but overall, I'm gonna go ahead and call that a win. Now it did rain, so I will have to reapply that stuff, but I mean, all I'm looking to do is get this stuff to a harvest point, and that is almost there. And if you see, like they're just dancing around. They're everywhere. They came out 10 days ago, and it's funny because my very first spray was 11 days ago. I kept looking and looking. There was none. And then I saw one, and I said, okay, I'm gonna mix that up. So here are our leeks. I gotta keep reminding myself that they've got another like 90 days in the ground. They're not doing bad. Sometimes I get impatient with these longer season crops, but whatever, we'll check back on those next month. The purple Brussels is the next row over. This is a gorgeous plant. The leaves on this are stunning. Now, what else is stunning is that they take forever to set Brussels. Do you see anything? You see anything, you put in the comment section because you all got better eyes than I do. This one here is trying. But we'll have to see. I mean, if these don't give a very good return, I certainly will not waste an entire row on them. I have a couple of rows of the Jade Cross. They're not impressing me much. They're a very short Brussels, apparently. I didn't realize, maybe I didn't look into it enough, but they're a very old variety, and I don't know what to say. We'll analyze our Brussels sprout situation by the end of the year. I mean, they're not looking terrible, but I don't know. I mean, they're starting to Brussels, I guess. Again, long season crop, but we've only got about 5 or 6 weeks until our first frost. And if you just threw up in your mouth at that, that is the appropriate response. This next row, we popped in some more Gregorian cabbage. That's a short day cabbage, so it's like, I don't know, 58 or 60 days. So we'll see what we get out of that. These are ginormous. These are the 3 different varieties of patty pan squash. Let's see if we can see. There is just absolutely loads of flowers in there. I don't know what's going to show up on here, but there's tons of little patty pans. I mean, I feel like these are about to explode. The zucchinis have exploded, you know, as per usual. You know, I mean, if something like this doesn't get picked tomorrow, it's all of a sudden freaking enormous. But there is a ton of them on. And I mean, whatever, every time we pick them, we go, oh my goodness, like that's a whole harvest bin full of these. And by the end of market, we have next to none of them left. So that's A wonderful size right there. I guess at the end of the day, when you have, 20 or so zucchini plants, courgettes. The next row over is solid. That's our rutabaga row. I went through, I thinned that out. When was that? A month or so ago. So I'm looking forward, and that's an amaranth about to go to seed. You gotta go. So at the end of the zucchini row, I just filled that in with some more cabbages. And then this next row over, we have again some more cabbages and then some dill. And the rest of this whole huge row is rutabaga. Let's see what we can see. Oh, there we go. We're starting to rutabaga. We're starting to do our thing. Bulking up. Big turnip looking. Those are going to be awesome. Last year in that one row that we had similar to this, but I did not thin them, we had about 800 pounds. So celeriac, I have 2 rows of that, 2 beds. There's 3 rows per bed, and they are looking extremely happy. I have been watering these much more diligently than last year, which I read over the winter that they like. So trying to be a good little farmer. What do we do here? I still had some room here, so I said, screw it, I'm just throwing in some extra cabbage starts. This row over here is the purple kohlrabi, and they are very attractive, but they are much slower than the green variety. So I will keep that in mind next year. But basically, other than this bit of kohlrabi, we're looking at our broccolini for the year. I've got 3 varieties in here. You can see it flowering there. This is a purple sprouting broccoli, and I haven't seen hide nor hair of purple nor sprout. So we shall keep our eyes peeled. There's some of our kohlrabis. Again, these mature much quicker than their purple brethren. These, it's taken us maybe a couple of years, but we now have our customers that absolutely love these and come see us every week. So rogue cabbage, not sure how that got in there. Yeah, here's a great example of some of our broccolini right here. I'm trying to recall which variety this is, but they're so tender all the way down the stem. You just snap those off and you eat the whole thing. It's like asparagus. Excuse me for a second. Oh yeah, baby. Oh! Rogue Johnny jump ups, just adding some beauty to the situation. So yeah, now these here, their main heads never got cut, but they're still rocking out the side shoots. So this main head will come out today, so will that little feller, and we'll get a lot more of these side shoots out of them. But yeah, we've got a load of broccolini. And when I say a load, I mean a load. It's absolutely lovely stuff. And just a random, like, look at this bed. A random cabbage, random sunflower, another mystery cabbage. Who planted this stuff? I have an idea who planted it. Okay. All right. So now, this is our last of 8 beds of beets. This is getting pulled out tomorrow. And we have our transplants all ready to go into the ground there. This variety is Tanis. So this is akin to Cylindra, but the package said that they were longer, straighter, and bigger. And I said, okay. So this is a little mix of some rounds and some Cylindras. Here's another row of Cylindras that we transplanted in probably 2.5 weeks ago. And then some yellow beets that we had harvested and popped more transplants in. So these will be the ones that we're yanking out of the ground in hopefully late September. And again, beets that came out and then transplants back in. I did an entire row of dill to appease my daughters and our customers that are clamoring for pickling dill. So this stuff should all be flowering, you know, whatever, first little bit of September, which should be nice. The farmer has one row of strawberry plants in there. I think he's moving that at the end of the year. And then our final row of beet transplants. This was some extra beets to start with. We harvested those, and then I popped in new broccolini starts. I'm very curious. I hear these things can handle frost, so we will put them to the test. Oh, sorry, this is our last row. These are the gold beets that we transplanted in. I'm trying to even remember what the heck came out of here. This used to be turnips, and then obviously we started and transplanted in more kohlrabi for later in the year. This was my parsnip beds, and then if you recall, I put radish in there, and that seemed to affect the germination. So sadly, a month later, I just reseeded. So we'll see what these do. I don't have huge hopes for them. And then we have our 2 rows of beautiful colored carrots. The one variety of purple, I will figure out which one that is. In both rows, it was the first row that I seeded, both beds, and it is just a devil for going to seed. So the amount of usable carrot in that variety is negligible. But and then now we're into the yayas. This is a really nice main season carrot. I will certainly grow that again. I put a row of bolero in after what came out of there. I think baby carrots came out of there. Something came out of there, and I put this is a late season. This will be one of the last things out of the field for storage. And then again, this used to be carrots. So yeah, we popped in a different variety. So this one is Happy Rich of broccolini. So I have the 3 varieties. I have them clearly marked, different areas, and we'll see how they perform. This bed of garlic we have descapified. We have taken the scapes out of the middle of these, and you will see a little bit later a row where we have not done that. These were a couple of rows of baby carrots that the germination just sucked, so I reseeded, and they are now getting close. I would say we could probably start harvesting this week, if not next week for sure. For sure. And then I think I might try and slap some winter radish in. I know it's really, really late in the game for us, but I'm just curious what they'll do. We've only done 2 full plantings of green onions. This is the second one, so this should get us through until whatever, into October, and then we'll do one last one in the greenhouse. A little weird brassica section again. We've got 3-4 different kinds of kale in there, a couple of rogue cabbages that look like they want to be crowdified, and then again a whole bunch of kohlrabi for later in the year. Beyond is kind of, I don't know, like I'm really happy with everything. Pardon me. Sweat in the eyes. I'm really happy with everything, but these onions, oh my God. I gotta show them to you. So these are the shallots, and they're absolutely formidable size. And these things clean up so beautiful. So beautiful. They look so nice on a market table. Man, these are they're majestic. They are majestic. I am absolutely loving these. We got 3 rows of storage onions, which did wonderful for us last year. And really the only challenge that we had was we sold out of them at the spring markets. So we grew an extra row of those. And then the red onions. The red onions, I have seldom had stalks this thick. I do not know if that's going to make much of a difference. But these started bulbing up. Well, I guess technically they started bulbing at the same time as the other onions after the longest day in the year. But it seems like they are slower. But they are finally starting to be noticeable that they're getting bigger. So I have a lot of hopes for those reds. I'm not pulling any of them until they're a much bigger size. And then check out this garlic row. You can see where we stopped with the scapes. We got a lot more pesto to make, but look at them. It's just crazy. That's one of the aspects of garlic that I absolutely love. Is the scapes. The customers enjoy them. The girls make a ton of different pestos. Look at how cool that looks. All right, and if you want to keep these so that you can get the seeds out of there. If you want to keep these so you can get the seeds out of there a little later and you can refresh your garlic stock, you can do that as well. Oh, another amaranth. It's like we never go through here, and yet we go through here all the time. Okay, so here are the large sweet onions, and they are just fantastic. I've been pulling these, pardon me, I've been pulling these out of the ground for, I don't know, 3 or 4 markets, so whatever, not even a week, and they are just so consistently lovely sized, and the greens stand up wonderful on the market table. They just look absolutely fantastic. So we've got 2 rows of these, 2 beds rather, and yeah, it's go time, let me tell you that. So much stuff is coming ready, so much. This garlic will be coming out in the next, I'd say, 10 days to 2 weeks. And then obviously the onions. So there's going to be a little bit of a, I don't know, creative solutions type of thing when it comes to how we're going to store, dry, and cure. I guess not in that order. Dry, cure, and store. Anyway, I'll show you. The farmer asked me one day if I could use a little more land, if I had anything that I could plant in there. And strangely enough, I did. So we popped an entire bed of Salanova in there, which we have recently cut. We've got some cilantro in the back, and then another basil forest. I can't get enough basil, and even if people don't buy it, because nobody knows what to do with herbs here, it's just gorgeous, and I like looking at it. And then these were the Bolero, the long season storage carrots, and I think the seeds were just a little bit too big. They were big old seeds. They were a little bit too big for that roller because I have absolute crap. I don't think it's crap germination. I just don't think enough seeds came out. I think the bigger ones were getting stuck. And then you come over here to the rainbow carrots. I tried to use up the rest of the seeds for those, and those came up like a champ. Like, they're looking absolutely fine. I got to go through here and get this amaranth out of here, or it's going to drive me nuts next year. Okay, hold on a second, and then I'll show you the second area that we got offered. Okay, so we also got asked, basically from these cabbages here, all the way back to the peas, if we had any plants for this area. So I did have a little bit of transplants, but other than that, I just grabbed the cedar. So I'll show you. So I did 3 rows of purple beans, and they have little baby beans on. So these we will be able to harvest all the way through to the first frost. So 3 rows of, did I not do 3 rows of, oh yeah, the cedar was all weird. Anyway, 1.5 rows of the purple, 3 rows of the yellow, and 3 rows of the green. And then I used up the rest of our rainbow radish seed, as well as, I think, again, this was Bolero, like that main season, and the seeds just did not come out of there. You can tell that's a big honking carrot, though. Or at least I think I can. But so there you go. So there's the extra little areas that, whatever. You can offer me more room to grow, I will grow more things in that area. Count on it. All right, let's go take a look at the greenhouses. All right, standing in the doorway of the greenhouse, there might be a little wind noise. I will show you what's still going on in here. This is just the remaining beet starts. I don't know that those will actually hit the field. I've got a few more cabbage, again, don't know. Some of the beets from the last transplant on Saturday, and then these are the ones they need a little water. But these are gonna go in tomorrow, as soon as that last full bed comes out. So I seeded spinach, which looks like it's coming out to play. So that is very nice to see. This row here, we were just finishing off harvesting, and we had a bit of issues in here, I think, with our irrigation. We just were not on top of it enough, so a lot of it isn't regrowing. So that's on us being too busy. See how a lot of them just kind of just, you know, whatever, they're not there anymore. You live and you learn. I got more ready to go. Uh-oh, sunflower down. Guess we'll get that out of here. We've transplanted, obviously, a bunch more lettuce in here. So by this time next month, that's going to be looking delish. Look at the size of these green onions. Like, how hilarious is that? That is hilarious. So that's kind of the last of the stuff in the greenhouse. Our basil forest. I just pulled. Oh, I lied. I just pulled almost a full bed of radishes out of there. Ah, that thing feels firm. This is the new bed of radishes, so I'm going to have to prep this. That is arugula that needs to come out. Oh, there's so much to do. I just love it, but it's crazy. That is now officially too old. And then we have our turnips, which are way too close in here. So it's just a matter of finding the best ones. They're just seeded way too close. But you can see some of the nice purple in there. So these will be coming out too. There's always tons to do. So and tomorrow's going to be a big day because these rows in here got to come out, get prepped, and then something go back in. Those beets are coming out. Another round of beets are going in there. And we'll clean up this front part. I don't think the farmer wants his tomato plants anymore. He hasn't done a lot with them this year. So I'm kind of thinking of making a couple or three more just fall beds, just so we can get a few more things in here. And I will get rid of the rest of these plant starts that I obviously do not need at this point. I have those need water bad. I have some of each broccolini that I wanted to start in here, and maybe those will go in where the radishes were, just so I can get them in the ground. I also have a bunch of Swiss chard and kale, so when we're still rocking in November and December, those will be in perfect condition. And there's the green onions that will at some point make their way into one of these beds. Let's go take a boo at the high tunnel or unheated greenhouse. Riley did an awesome job and got the roll-up sides done, which completely, oh, look at this, eh? Hey, not bad. The borage is boraging. Yeah. Calendula's doing their thing. I had to tie those up. We've had some insane storms around here lately, and these giant ones are living up to their name. Don't look here and don't look there. It's so messy. But here is our bean house. That's pretty cool. That's way more beans than I've ever grown before. So we got purple. We got some gorgeous purple beans. Coming on, and more flowers, and then lots of yellows. And of course, just your whatever, your standard greens. And the little baby's coming on next. So I still see flowers. The game plan is going to be to harvest these, I think, all the way up to the end of August. And whether there's anything on them or not at that point, they're coming out. And then this area in here will get used again as onion curing, drying area. Because we have more onions this year than we did last year. So we're going to have to figure that out. This might be a hanging thing that we're doing. Oh, and I tried a few of the unique radishes. I think that one there is a watermelon one, where it's white on the outside and red in the middle. And then I know I tried like a crazy purple one. No, it wasn't purple. It was a Nero, a hot black Spanish one. So I'm looking forward to that. And then whatever, we'll pull some of those out in a little bit and see how they do. And then the Auric, that purple Auric has got to be 8, almost 9 feet tall. It's actually quite hilarious at this point. I might consider taking that out of here. Anyway, there you go, folks. It's always changing, always evolving, and things are going well. Things are growing well. We're swamped with markets, but I don't think any of us would have it any other way. So thanks for following along if you guys have. Leave a comment if you so feel like it. And other than that, have an awesome day. And we will see you all on the next one. Bye.